Yeah.
Let's go, everybody. What's up?
Hello.
It's time again for y'all's favorite podcast.
Ah, shit.
Are you sure
I,
about
s-
that?
yo, it at least is for me whenever I feel lonely.
Welcome back to the Hotter Trash Podcast, where we give our hottest takes and our trashest opinions.
Fucking Victor just glazed over it.
Look, at this point, I would also ignore myself too if I make any of the comments that I make nowadays. God damn. But if anything, hopefully right now Michael doesn't get pulled away at some point in midstream, but it's fine. Whatever happens, happens. But yes, big announcement
Whatever
update here.
happened?
But yeah, big announcement update before we get started here. We do have the Hotter Trash podcast website up and running outside of minor bugs here and there, but it is
Yeah,
operational.
it is working. Very basic website, but it gets the idea out.
Yeah, I'm just
It gets
posting
our
the
point
link to
across.
this. Yeah, I'll post the thing in our Twitch chat here too, so that it's pinned as well.
Hey, on our little banner thing you have right underneath the chat, you should put the website there.
Oh, that's true. I could update that. Yeah. This will be, probably right now. I need to figure out which one that is because I don't even remember where I put it at.
All right, well that'll be a thing we figure out during the week.
Yeah. Oh, I take that back. I figured it out, update it, and we're doing this live here. Boom. It
Oh,
should
baby,
be.
look at that, dude. Look at that.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh
Boom.
man.
Official. Look at that.
Yep,
Mm-mm-mm.
our official account.
Professional.
Official account. So if you click in through our website too, we get nothing on there. We don't put ads on their shit too yet.
And we literally put nothing. I just enjoy the website.
Yeah. This
Just
is
look at
literally
it. Admire
this
it.
is just like a very over glorified link tree, let's be honest, because it has our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So whatever you want to
It
do,
just
you
looks
can
cool.
use it from there. But it also
You want
has
to
on
give
there.
us, yeah,
Mm,
y'all want to give us feedback? Go into the website and scroll down to the bottom. Give us
yeah.
your most trashed opinions because it's gonna go straight into the trash.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to read through the garbage because yeah. But
Again.
so with that said too, the other announcement updates too. I'm still finalizing on a couple of artists that I think I could get the new art update commission from. So the more news update on that. And the other one is I have some semblances of a game stream that we could do at some point, but I don't think we'll do it that much soon. Probably next month is what my goal is for this. I don't know what game we're gonna be streaming to, but I'll probably make the announcement too later. We'll see. But until then, thank you all for tuning in from last time. That there was the special announcements of the website and other stuff happening for this year's streams. But now let's get to the mundane topic of, in this case, do we spend too much on shit? Now,
Yeah.
so,
Well, you're kind of cutting off there.
oh, am I cutting off here too? Shit.
Lean into
Okay.
your mic.
I am leaning into my mic. My mic is literally in my mouth right now.
Nice.
I think it's just my internet connection on Discord here that's messing it up. But moving onwards,
What
for
was the topic?
do we buy too much useless shit?
Yes.
But
All right,
I
now let's
feel
clarify. What kind of useless shit are we talking about?
so already too. This is already going to be stupidly subjective, right? Because like, what do we classify as being useless in this argument? Like,
Something that depreciates constantly.
technically, everything that we own depreciates constantly, like our cars, for
What about
example.
what about something?
That's useless right there.
Maybe something that doesn't provide use to our lives, value to our lives.
Like the Marie Kondo like mindset of simplicity or minimalism.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, everybody has a different definition of what useful is. You know,
Yeah, because like
what's useful for some may not be useful for others.
yeah, because like I've heard this argument a lot of times too, where like a lot of like the financial experts of like we be like a lot of the younger generation, we spend too much stuff or spend too much on useless shit that doesn't mean anything for our lives. Although it's like a lot of it is very contextual and very subjective based of like how people choose to spend their money anyways. So You'll never waste a rupee at Raw. Oh my god. Not this guy again. Not the Rush Indian restaurant.
Where's wrong, bro? Boy cut off.
Oh
That
my
boy
god.
cut off his text, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, at what Raw? God damn. But mind you, it's something that like I don't know like how to really approach it on the topic where like it feels like we should be easily like criticizing it, but on like further inspection on like or retrospection on like why we spend things the way we do, I don't think it really matters in the end, right? At least in my opinion, I don't think it matters like what you really spend on to. Clearly, there are some things too that it does become an issue, which I've heard that in the most recent Coachella events, people instead of like trying to buy the tickets at full wholesale value to, they are now actually financing their purchases to buy the tickets. So they're making
That's a little
installment.
too much. I mean, okay. Okay, well, let's be honest. Just putting everything on a installment plan is ridiculous.
Right.
I mean,
Especially
this whole rise of buy now, pay later is what's really fucking over people. You know, back
Mhm.
then people used to say about say the same thing about credit cards, but you know how to use credit cards right. It's not a problem, right?
Exactly.
But I firmly agree. But I firmly like believe that buy now, pay later is really ruining people.
Right. So in this case too, would it be the issue then that like people just don't know how to spend money then, rather than they just buy useless
Oh
objects?
no, people know how to spend their money. All right.
Question: do they know how
In a
to
stupid
spend
way.
money in a smart way?
Not
Which,
I mean, no, that's why that's why everyone's in debt.
yeah, everyone is in debt some way or somehow, and it gets worse too. God damn it, the guy is just really hustling, trying to post stuff at a restaurant.
You know what? If it's engagement, I'll take it.
Yeah, if it's engagement that'll boost our stream too, fuck it, I'll interact with this too. But oh man, spend your money where the flavor is. God damn it. But
Yeah, bro. At least be in Texas, bro.
yeah, so the like I said, I think let's just get away with the throw out there the opinion that like we tend to spend a lot of our money into useless products. In this case, let's say useless consumer electronics that it's usually ever like a one-time ever purchase, and let's just say it gets neglected because we were only honestly buying stuff like that as a novelty thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, true. A lot of electronics really are just
Yeah.
novelties for us to use one time. I mean, but like I said, it just depends on the person. Some
Yeah.
people may find like a lot of use for it. Other people may just throw it in a corner somewhere.
Yeah. And this also kind of also applies to games as well, does it not? Especially if you really think about like if it doesn't bring like value or meaning to your life, why do we spend any money on games at all?
Yeah, correct. I mean, you got to play the game. Just like this is like a normal product. You got to use the product to
Yeah.
give you any value, right? If you don't
Yeah.
play the game, how's it supposed to give you any value, meaning, or whatever you want
Right.
to call it?
Yeah. So right then and there too. So like the already a conversation point to like try to see if if we spend too much things on useless products too, it really doesn't hold any water if we just make that general statement, because once we honestly try to argue with it too, it literally breaks apart when you start to realize like everything that we do is technically useless. Everything that we buy is technically useless. Like it doesn't even matter too. Let's say too like you buy like power tool sets and it's just like cool, you buy power tool sets as like for your work or just for your house, or just for something that you want to keep in your garage. Just to keep in your garage. Okay, well, how often are you really going to use it? So
All the time.
anyway,
See,
so
to a
just
different person is see to a different person is useful. It just depends.
yeah, that's why like again that or the statement just doesn't work at all in like a overall general basis. However, there are cases right now where we just mentioned earlier that honestly we have a lot of people that just don't know like how to use money correctly, such as why the
You
fuck
know,
is everything being financed?
you know, on a philosophical level, do you think that? I mean, we have money in order to spend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that just spending on anything would just be wasteful, even on necessity.
Yeah, because if it's like a whole mindset of like at certain points too, like let's just say for a restaurant example, if you think about it, it'd be a waste for you to spend money at a restaurant because if you just take the time and effort to learn how to cook yourself, you would save buttloads more money. But then again,
Nah, but then here's where it goes down even further.
yeah, yeah,
Because it'll waste you to buy food rather than going out and getting it yourself.
yeah. So yeah, it's like again too, like you can't really like make that statement ever. And it's not like a healthy mindset to really engage with this either, because again, you're not trying to deal with people in honest fashion with that way. You're just in this case calling people stupid for making dumb choices with their lives, which obviously we still criticize that, but then that's not a correct statement to make for them.
Mhm.
You know, for me personally, I don't really care if people are gonna spend their money wrong, or right. Wrong is obviously subjective, but uh, if they're gonna spend their money in reckless ways, I don't really care. It's whenever they brag about it, when they brag that they have something expensive, and pretend that that means that they have money, as if like people who want a car couldn't find them means a fancy car without going into debt,
Yeah.
or wasting your money on like Gucci or something like that, which
Yeah.
I guess now turns out to be primarily made in China.
Oh, if anything, that's already been pretty much debunked.
Has it been?
Yes. A lot of
Okay.
people from the fashion industry have actually said against this statement that they are deeply offended by that, obviously for a lot of reasons. But no, they do prove that a lot of the bags are still made in Europe too. It's just again, just because you
Well, of
buy the
course they
same
would. They
materials,
would
it's
prove it so that
yeah.
you their value.
I mean, there's that too, but it's also the argument still stands too. That like you could buy the same ingredients that the chef from a 3 Michelin star restaurant uses, but could you make the same thing? Probably not.
Probably. But um,
You have it. You think too highly
what
of
I
yourself,
what I mean is
Michael.
I don't really care if
Damn.
people spend their money recklessly, but if they're gonna brag about it as if it's something to be proud about, or if they're then gonna complain about the fact that they're broke, I mean, like that's where it gets me.
That
So
is
it's not
upsetting.
about the action of like money being spent. It's just the way how people behave when money is
No,
being
because like
spent.
everyone's gonna spend money on what they value, and then what you value may not be something someone else values. But what I don't think is like what seems like something you can hold someone more accountable to is like pretending that they're better than you because they decided to spend their money on something that is by your standards worthless, or when they inevitably go broke because they can't maintain that lifestyle, complaining and being like life is hard. It's like you made your choice. You made the choice to act like this.
Or or it's like, yeah, you made the decisions to get you there too, which is perfectly fine. Everybody has the freedom of choice to just spend whatever the fuck they want to. Hell, me and Lloyd here are gotcha gamers. We will willingly spend money on gotcha games, even though we know damn well that it's not great for the gaming industry.
Yeah, I spent $100 earlier this week.
Nice.
Well, I'm about to.
Yeah,
I
you know,
spent over I spent
gotta-
over 201 piece yesterday.
Yeah.
I got a point that just came up. Like we say it's waste money, like wasting money if we just buy things that we don't think is valuable, right?
Hmm.
But is it technically wasting money because the money is going into the economy, right?
Yeah. Like that's something that like a lot of people are like very upset at. Like in this case, when they do get upset, they kind of ignore that part too, because
But
depending
okay,
on
but
Mhm.
hold on. Just because it's going back into the economy doesn't mean it's going into their pocket. Like I feel like sure you're like, oh well, it's not worth the spending because it's going back into the economy, making business for the company. But at the same time, like no matter how much reckless spending puts more money in the economy, reckless spending hurts the person who's recklessly spending it, and that's
Well,
I
that's
think
a
the
Yeah,
concern.
personal. That's a skill issue. That's not
That's what I'm saying.
that's not the issue. That's not what I'm talking about here.
What is the greater meaning of what we're talking about?
Just well, I don't know. That's why we're
Jeez.
debating. But that wasn't the point I was trying to make.
yeah. I mean, like if anything too, like no matter like what happens to, like in generally speaking, consumerism is not a bad thing for like an economy. And if anything too, consumer like high like if we have like a spending economy too, that just means the fact that a lot of money itself is actually being funneled back into the production of the products that people are buying stuff from. However, the biggest question is like, where did the products come from? In this case, with like I said, I'm not gonna go too far deep into like the whole tariff situation that's going on with the U.S. right now and whatnot. Too, that's something that would obviously will get political really quick. But as a general normal take about this too, a lot of times I truly think that we do have an issue that like we just want to like buy the cheapest shit possible without honestly taking into account like if we do buy the cheap stuff too, it does undermine a lot of other local businesses that would provide the same service, but obviously they can't go that low of a price in the first place.
Yeah, I mean well, that becomes hard to talk about only because people have their reasons of going cheap as possible because they're
Yeah.
pretty stretched on money and they don't have much to spend. They don't have much money to spend.
Yeah, like if anything, like that situation too, it makes perfect sense, right? You want to at least like if you really do need it to, and you have to buy it, more power to you. You have the power to choose what you want to spend it on. But obviously, right now, it does seem to become like a bigger issue and problem too, where like right now with our current ways that people are right now, money is a little bit tight on everybody. Like trying to go for stuff that we normally spend right now too doesn't work the same way, and everything's just getting more expensive. Here we still are bitching and complaining.
Well, it
Of course,
might
we would
help
always
if
do that.
Americans were less materialistic. If our
That's not.
American society was less materialistic.
Let's be
I
honest
mean, yeah.
too. Materialism is what actually fucking makes our economy grow.
True,
As a
but
as a sad
it has its pros and cons. I mean, people spend your money on whatever you want. I'm not saying you can't, but everything has its pros and everything has its cons.
Mhm.
We get to the point where everyone is trying to one up each other on expensive things to show off to the
No, that
people
is
who don't care.
yeah, that is one of the big problems in society.
Yeah, it's like literally the whole thing of like how we view like wealth and culturally spending stuff too. Because that's honestly the biggest issue that I have with the way how like if we spend stuff on useless shit, because it's the matter of the philosophical question of like, does this actually fucking help me in my life too, or am I doing this for gratification or validation?
Probably gratification and
Well,
validation.
if you do it for gratification and validation, and if you're in a field that is based on that, like celebrities and stuff, then yeah, you buying those things will provide value to you. No,
Yeah. And it's just like for a lot of like fashion brands too, they kind of need these celebrities to spend a lot of money just so that, hey, it's like, hey, this celebrity is wearing the hottest new fashion here too. You could buy it at this said fashion brand label. And then everything,
I
you
still
know,
don't
too, is like,
understand people's fascinations with idols. To be honest with you,
that doesn't then beg the question: why do celebrities exist? They don't really do much for the world,
yeah. It, they wouldn't do much in the world too, because let's be honest too, celebrities would just be the only thing about it is like people just talk about them a lot too. And it's just like, and it's like, and also just to make it certain that like not all actors are celebrities either. Hell,
Yeah.
we even see that in some cases too. Adam Sandler is kind of living modestly. He kind of just wears his clothing that looks like a drunk dad half the time.
Dude.
So it, like I said, it's not about in this case if consumerism is bad. Albeit, I think consumerism is good for like how we live our lives right now, or how we know products will sell. Because without consumerism too, we're just gonna have like shitty game products that is gonna be releasing day after day.
You know, I mean, everything is necessity, but up to a certain point.
Yeah, like yeah, because that's also the thing about it, is to tie it back around to some of the other stuff that we talked about as well. Ubisoft is on their high horses thinking they could get away with bullshit when they realize, oh, we're just making shitty products after one after the other. Now nobody is fucking paying for it. Why not? Why won't you guys buy our games? It's like you guys have lost the perceived value of the public.
Yeah, make a good game.
And it's like,
Yeah, I think it's too hard for them, dude.
yeah, especially the way how big they are too, and it's just like it's already so fucked for them. Like even if they did turn out to be a success too, they'll be bleeding money for like the next decade or so. So regardless, dude, I think right now we're starting to see like a lot of like trends of like people are in this case wanting to do a lot of either self hobbies or self like crafts hobby to, from either 3D printing jobs to body kit works, hell even kitchen or gardening work as well too, just so that they're not like solely reliant on needing money to spend on things. Because honestly that's something that like a lot of people like forget to realize, that like, you know, money is just merely a tool. It's
Mhm.
not like, it's not supposed to be like your like everything. It hinges on the fact that it's necessity for you. But I also understand too that like for people that live in like not that great of economic areas too, that, you know, trying to grow your own food might not be the best thing either, especially if you have like shitty neighborhoods. I'll be honest too, I look outside, it's like damn.
Absolutely. And honestly, the dirt here is not dirt meant for like planting anything.
Yeah, welcome to Texas where we have clay soil for like the first feet up, and then after that is bedrock.
Yeah. So if you wanna really like grow your own, like have your own garden, grow or be self-sustaining,
Just
you gotta really commit to it. You gotta buy a lot of soil and buy a
yeah,
lot of fertilizer and all that.
yeah. God damn, you
So
squeaky ass chair, Michael.
so you know that's the weird thing that nobody thinks about. You know, people think that people can just grow like fruits and vegetables in their garden and save a ton of money. I don't think that's true because you have to spend money on plant food basically.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like,
everything has cost. Like, I don't
yeah,
know. I feel like that's just like common sense at this point.
you would think that,
But yeah,
but
but nobody. No, but my point is nobody talks about those other
Okay.
costs
No,
of like having a garden in your backyard.
yeah. No, that wasn't me like trying to like put down what you were saying. It was more like I'm also agreeing that I'm really surprised that people aren't talking about it.
yeah, because like I'll be honest too, I will say this too, even though like let's just be honest too, I think a lot of people can acknowledge too that like even though you could save a lot of money, a lot of people can recognize that it's going to be a lot of work and possibly even more money invested into it to get there, right? But
Mhm.
you can also do a lot of things too that I would say is a much better feat to accomplish too. You literally just visit like the way how farmers markets are, kind of just interact with a lot of that too, how they manage to grow stuff. And if anything, if they have some recommendation that you could purchase through, they would rather in this case have you spend money through, in this case, stuff that is made locally too, just so that it helps other businesses. Because let's be honest too, every now and then we're getting into the point with consumerism where we're so focused on making sure we get the most bang for our buck too. In this case, all the fucking Temu products that we've been seeing. Have you seen the videos of people like reacted to whenever they receive their Temu products?
No,
Mm-mm.
It's fucking hilarious too. Like some
and I
people
won't
straight,
watch them because it sounds like it's enabling Temu.
yeah, because like someone bought in this case what looks like a door decoration where it's just a giant ribbon that places on a door. What they got in the mail is a poster of the same picture that they saw on a Temu page.
Crazy.
It's
Nuts.
now a lot of times too, it's like, damn, is Temu effectively a scam? It's just like, I
You shouldn't be surprised. I
yeah,
mean, the
you
way
should be.
you see how cheap those things are, like the products they sell on there, how cheap they are is crazy.
Yeah, like someone would try to buy like a cheap milk frother too. Turns out it's only like this, even half an ounce. like picture that they have for a milk frother cup. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Could barely fit inside the Steam one.
Yeah.
But point that being said too, I do think that we have like the issue of like we're trying to make the most of our money, right? And I think this is also something that I noticed too, that like back when we're growing up, like how many times have you guys grown up going to buffets?
A lot.
Very
A lot.
not as often as other people would.
Yeah. I still
Yeah,
remember
I
my
didn't go
dad.
too terribly much.
Yeah, I still remember my dad would take us to Golden Corral and he was telling me, make sure you say you're 7 years old. I'm like, I
Oh, same. Same, dude.
But yeah, it's starting to, it feels like right now, like with Golden Corral too and all the other buffet spots, I feel like it is a bad example because a lot of people are stopped going to buffets. I'll be honest too. It kind of absolutely sucks unless you go to Vegas. But even then, it's like fucking $100 per head.
I think it just really depends on the buffet, you know. Like a lot
Yeah.
of buffets are absolute garbage, and that's why I don't like going to buffets.
Yeah. Unless it's rated really well too. Like the only time you would honestly see a good buffet spot too is probably like the high end spots. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but you got to.
I don't know, man. I've been disappointed by quote unquote high end things. Like I don't know, they've always
It's
come
a
up
d-
shy.
it
for
also
me.
it also depends on where the fuck you go to eat that are considered high end. There's that too. But moving on from, I don't know. There's also the whole thing that I remember too, like not that long ago, people were also saying that like a lot of millennials, they don't spend money on like things that would help them generate like more money or assets, and they all spend like frivolous things, like also going on a lot of vacations and mostly spending it on like really nice meals too. But then there's even the argument. Mhm.
I mean, people live different lives.
Yeah.
Some people, a lot of people want to enjoy life, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want to
I
take
mean-
that vacation to the Bahamas, go for it, man. I feel like that does sound nice
Yeah.
right now. Shit.
Like I feel like that's one thing people need to realize too. Like your goals are not other people's goals. I feel like some people's goals are to be like to accumulate as much money as possible. And that tends to mean that you don't do a whole lot other than do
Just
things that
work.
make you money. And then you
Yeah.
get the other people who don't care to be super rich or super fancy, but they'd rather see the world. That means that they're probably spending a lot of money.
Especially
So
the
it's
one,
like,
especially the two lesbian couples that we saw, Caleb Hammer, that goes to Disney World 5 times a year.
now that's crazy.
I think
But
there's
you know
like
what?
don't they
That's
have
and
like
they
a yearly
enjoy
pass
it.
or something?
Yes, they have that too. So it's even more.
I mean, it costs more, yeah, but you can visit there multiple times a year.
But even then too, they don't live in the same area that they would be able to go to a Disney World, so they would have to fly in every fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. And some people just really like Disney World. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but this just me from my subjective opinion. I think Universal Studios is better than Disney World. Just me.
I've never been to Disney World or Disneyland.
And you're not really missing that much.
Well,
Yeah,
honestly, you know, I honestly want to visit the rest of the Disney parks. I've only been to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good experience to visit them.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a million times a year, but definitely once in your lifetime.
The hotter trash goes out to travel vlog into Disney World.
I'm gonna dress up as Donald Duck.
God damn.
I'm gonna get blown in a Donald Duck costume.
And then you get arrested because you're wearing a copyrighted costume.
Yep.
No, I'm actually. Little did you know, I'm actually working.
Oh god, that's it. My dad is like the whole Disney World like stuff too, like the history behind it, and to even like the modern dramas behind it is something that could be a standalone topic of its own. But we could keep
absolutely.
going. We keep moving forward about this too, because this is also like devalues how people see like how they should spend money, right? Because obviously for others, we see value in this case wanting to, you know, see the world more. That would also just require for us to have a lot of money saved up and be able to spend it. a lot of people say is you shouldn't be spending that much. You should be saving it so that you can like afford to get a house and whatnot. Which here's the thing too. I think both arguments are valid at the same time. Can we agree with that?
In reality, any argument's valid. It's just we all approach life differently.
Hmm. And that's really the end, like the end all be all kind of shit too. Because truly, it doesn't matter because you're not living in that other person's life unless you are them, which is also kind of a bit concerning.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit concerning because it would either be some bad body snatcher situation shit too, or you are committing identity theft.
No, not at all.
Hmm.
No.
And what if I am?
Well, damn. All right.
Do we call the police or put the gun on him?
So what's your real identity? Tell me.
Hold on, man.
Pull down your pants.
Wow.
But
You heard it from Brian first.
oh my god, no! I did not say pull down Michael's pants. God damn it!
I didn't say that. That's
Okay.
Brian.
What? But
I mean,
but in your guys' things too, I think this is also something that because we talk about this with us too. I think this was a question that a friend of ours did ask us too. In this case, name yourself two things of what was the best thing that you spent money on and what was the worst thing you spent money on.
$30 tortellini was the worst thing I've ever spent my money on.
Man, do you still remember the
$30 tortellini? What?
It
God
had
damn.
truffle
Spend my
in
money
it,
on.
and it only had like 6 pieces.
Oh yeah, that's
And
when we went to
this
Italy.
goes back to my
Yeah,
earlier
went to
statement
Italy,
about
yeah.
high class things have really left me lacking in amazement.
You'll be
I'm
surprised.
more and
That's
more
not
convinced.
that's not the real high end stuff.
Yeah.
Well, supposed, like, you know, the shallow high end stuff that everyone goes out and tries to pretend that they're fancy. Like it's so nothing. I'm so sorry, but it's just nothing.
It is.
Like this
It is,
is
and I
what
agree.
people brag about spending their money on, and I'm like, dang, dude.
All right,
Got nothing else
we'll
on.
take Michael out to the Michelin star sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
I promise you, I probably will not find it any more enjoyable. I think my palate is like dead.
You become
I don't think
gentrified.
think
No.
dead. What do you mean gentrified? I think I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Look,
He's
Look, here's the thing about it.
He's too disappointed.
Here's the thing. You're not gonna have an option. You're coming with us regardless.
You're paying them.
Don't care. We'll take
Yeah, I
your
didn't
credit
think so.
card and use it. But mind you, so in this case, that was the worst thing you spent on. What was the best purchase that you've had?
Tortellini, $30 tortellini.
Listen here, you son of a
If you
bitch.
think about it, it was the worst thing because it opened my eyes to just how stupid it was. And it could also be considered the best thing because I'll never make that mistake again.
Because it opened his eyes.
Actually, there is a Thai movie I would love to recommend to you, Michael. I'll need to find it again too, but it's the same concept of like the overarching plot of this, but it's fine. I'll recommend it to you later on. But if anything, I guess that's the best thing you spent on. All right, moving on from Michael. Loy, what was the worst and best thing you spent your money on?
Your face and your face.
You son of a bitch.
Damn, you spent money on Brian's face?
Yeah, dude. How do you
What'd
think
you
I
do to
kept them all night?
Wait,
Gave him
what?
Botox?
Hell yeah, dude.
Dang,
You
Brian's
said-
beautiful.
Mm.
No, I'm looking
Is that
stiff.
why he
The fuck you mean?
Is that why? Is that why he looks all pixelated here?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on.
Get screwing me.
Oh my god. Oh my. Oh god. Now we're starting to baby talk now. No. Anyways,
I'm saying,
do I want to skip you then, Loy?
Yes.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
Okay then. All right. Besides Sayer Lloyd, then Victor, what was the best and worst thing you spent on?
Best thing, I don't know. Worst thing was the boot camp from it was like a, what was it? It was a fintech boot camp. So
Oh.
basically, it was a course. The absolute worst money I ever spent in my entire life, and I regret it ever since.
Oh,
I'm not gonna disclose how much, but it's gonna be
$1,000.
How many?
way more
So,
It was
Ugh,
about $3,000.
$5,000.
God,
than the
damn.
five. Yeah, I mean, it's
$5,000.
way more.
$10,000.
Shut up, Lloyd. We already get it. It's already bad enough. Online courses
$20,000.
absolutely suck.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Online courses absolutely blows.
Hey,
But
it was from a
yeah.
reputable college, so it wasn't the worst. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but the fact is I couldn't really do much with it
Yeah.
is what really made me regret it.
So, yeah. I mean, it is what it
Best
is.
thing I ever spent on. That's a good question. I don't know.
It's very hard. To be
That is
honest.
very hard. I mean, like,
I don't, because we don't typically
Maybe-
label the purchases as like, this is the best thing ever, right?
yeah, we just label it if it's useful or not for us.
Yeah.
That's
And I
really
guess-
it.
And I guess really the best way to word this too is that like, what was like your most used product that was worth spending money on?
My
My
computers.
computer.
My
Yes.
computer.
Which,
Bro,
if
I'm on
anything,
this,
yeah.
Look, I'm on this computer like on the daily, dude. Every
Yeah.
single day I'm on a computer. So yeah, it's definitely worth this money.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay. I will say
Got like
the,
nearly 2K on that shit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna use it.
so, God damn. I will say the worst thing I spent my money on, ironically, was in this case for card games. But let me tell you a funny ass story for this, all right?
I bet you got scammed.
Okay.
No. Well, if anything, I got scammed out by the fucking company that made this card game. So, Cardfight Vanguard, made by Bushiroad, right? This was the first time I ever heard this. I played this shit in college. But when I first got into it, I was with friends that were playing. I was like, oh, this seems kind of cool. And at that time, too, they were like, hey, there's this new set that's coming out and it looks really cool. Oh, what is it? It's like fucking mechas, fangs, and you get to banish shit. And I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. And it looks strong. Cool. I'm gonna build that. As soon as I built that shit too, bam, everything else got buffed. And now my deck is like F tier. I'm like, God damn it.
Sounds like absolute trash.
It sounds
Yeah.
like you just didn't know the market.
Apparently I didn't.
Sounds like
Or if-
Brian has a skill issue.
Sounds
Well,
like
it's a
Brian
skill,
built
skill, skill,
something
skill
that
issues.
he should have waited on.
It was like, here's the thing about it. It was really good until like everybody else got support.
Yeah, sounds like how One Piece is right now.
It's like, God fucking damn it. That was like the worst time I've ever had spending money. And that was, in this case, I had an inside joke with them. It was like, I was in like Vanguard depression for the entire like year or so until like a friend of mine let me borrow this deck. And I'm like, I believe in this game now.
I don't.
So that was at least the story of like my worst purchases was definitely that.
That's kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't think, I thought at first it would be very hard. I was like, nope, I do have one and it's very stupid. But the best thing I've actually spent money on was, in this case, split between my computer and my 3D printer. So that's the best thing I spent on. Now, it'll be coming at a head to a headache soon once I have to start maintaining it more frequently. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, but no, 3D printer for me is amazing just because, I mean, I like making shit on like drafting or CAD modeling softwares too. Being able to take that and then actually fucking print it in real life to see what I model too. Fucking amazing feeling. I wouldn't recommend everybody to get a 3D printer if you don't know how to take care of one yourself, or if you don't really know like much about like 3D printers in the first place.
I'll do what I want, sir. Don't tell me what to do.
All right, then
Yeah.
if it fucks up, you're gonna figure it out yourself. I won't help you then.
You know, I realized the best thing I spend money on is not really just one thing.
Hmm.
It's just anything for my wife. Yeah,
There you go.
Wow.
Damn.
because she doesn't ask for much. That's why.
Ah.
Wow.
You hear it on the
What'd you get
record,
her
please.
recently if you're allowed to share?
What?
It is obviously the wedding ring. Let's be honest.
Well, that's one of the things. Yeah.
But
Not
Why
just
are you gonna
anything
tell
that
me
I bought
something
for
so
her.
obvious. I'm gonna
You're gonna clap me? Mm.
clap 'em.
oh man,
Mm.
But I mean,
Enjoy that, everyone else on the mic.
so it seems like so it's like, in generally speaking too, like the best thing we spent, at least in our group here, the best money that we spent on was definitely our computers.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah,
Because that's what
man.
we're on all the time. Because we're absolutely a what did you call it? We don't touch grass.
Degenerates.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
fair
too.
enough.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
also a bitchless virgin who plays card games.
Yeah, that's
God.
Loy.
Shit. Look, man. Look, if
Why do you
anything
find that
too,
so funny, dude?
because
Dude.
I mean,
Wow, it's so mean.
look,
Boy, still laughing.
I'm gonna just be honest too. The people that do play trading card games to that level too, albeit I do know some that do have like girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever the fuck not to, but a
I don't
quite
believe
big
you.
there's a quite handful majority that aren't in that situation.
Oh yeah, that I can confirm. I have multiple people that I'm friends with in the community, and they're married. But the other people, I'm like, damn, y'all ugly.
God damn. Look, look, look. That just means to like they save themselves the trouble going on dating apps.
Bro, I'm like, I look at you, I'm like, I'm sorry, but how can people find
I'm
you
sorry,
attractive?
but you're fucking ugly, bro.
God. I don't think you want to be saying that shit too on like in this, because this will be posted on public. But yeah, well,
I mean,
That's
and
hilarious.
it's subjective, right? You know,
Yeah.
I could say they're ugly, and somebody will find them very attractive.
I mean that's a fair
Well, I
point.
I'm
like
just
that though.
one.
I like it though. You know.
It's just one person's opinion. It just goes back to the points how we like to spend. Is it how somebody else likes to spend?
Yeah, but then you guys will call me ugly unapologetically.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
You
because
are.
we're good
Uh,
friends.
God damn it.
Good is crazy.
You
No.
son of a bitch.
Different strokes for different folks, as they say.
Yeah,
God
different holes for different holes.
Hey, hold on a
Yeah.
minute.
Oh, yeah, whatever he said.
God damn. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, the journey that my computer has went through is similar to the ship of Theseus. The only thing that hasn't changed in this is just the drives. Everything else inside of it got replaced. And the case.
Case is
And
case
yeah,
is
the case.
original.
Yeah, the case is also original too. And it's also the only case right now that Corsair makes, and I'm keeping that shit. I'm never selling this
Only-
case.
What he means is it's the case that Corsair doesn't make anymore.
Yeah. Man. But I think right now, like the whole spending culture that we have here too, is it a problem right nowadays too? Or do you think right now it's just something that like kind of goes into like a growing economy?
Well, the problem is that they fuck themselves over. Not the problem is people overspend and then get themselves into a hole.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. It's like
If you
the problem
spend
is,
responsibly, well, then it's not an issue, right?
yeah. And like spending responsibly also doesn't mean that you just save up a lot of money either too. Spending
I
it
said
just
spend,
means,
I didn't say save.
yeah, that too. But yeah, it's like right now we're getting into this weird gray zone of like right now we are being having to be extra mindful of like whenever we purchase products, if it's going into like the pockets of like an actual American people instead of like other forms. However, there's nothing wrong with that entirely too, especially if the games that are being made here are so absolutely shit, but Japan is making bangers. So yeah, we're gonna incentivize by making sure Japan keeps making good games.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
so it's not really a shocker too when everyone's just like, damn, why does everybody play Black Myth Wukong? There's no women representation in the game. Like, bitch, please.
There's women.
Yeah, there is women too. You just haven't gone past the first chapter.
Yeah, 'cause you suck.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is true too. People called out people that make that statement too, and it's just like they haven't responded back since. And it's just like, and yeah, it's like right now, I think this is probably like the best way to look at it as well. With video games becoming much more and more expensive, people are being more mindful of like their spending right now. I think everybody in this point, Victor, might adopt your way of like how they view like how much a game is worth, which
With
in
my-
a lot of cases free to play. at this point.
Oh, that. I mean, all I say about that is that free to play makes more sense because then you get to try out the game or you get to play for as long as you want, and if you really like the game, you can start buying all the in-game content.
Yeah, like if the game is structured correctly so that it allows for such things like that. But even then too, I still think that's probably like a more sensible business model. That was also the reason why like games like League of Legends, Genshin Impact games, and a lot of other gacha games right now, let's be honest, they're all free. Most recently, the new gacha game that came out, which is a SD Gundam G Generations, came out. Holy fucking shit. You know, I start to understand why a lot of these developers are trying to make their own version of a gacha mechanic system, or they're trying to bring back loot boxes. Man, does it make it a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's- yeah, like we just hear Loy already like dropping $100 onto Wuthering Waves. I might have to do the same thing too, because I'm definitely not mad on the fact that you pulled the character on that banner.
No, he's very
Correction.
mad.
I spent $100 in Honkai Star Rail.
Oh, okay. Wrong
Yeah,
game.
Brian.
So now you're just making me even more mad. Go fuck yourself, Loy.
Win. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dang.
Man. Just yeah, look at me right now. I'm mauling over in this case, not being able to pull what I need to do, and I'm forced to spend money. God damn it. Technically,
yeah.
okay, sorry. Rephrasing statement. I'm not forced to spend money. I could also not just pull this character at all either. But Pride says otherwise, and I need to pull her.
Whose fault is that?
Definitely my fault. As I am definitely conscious enough that I am putting in the credit card information to put more money into this game. Because
Crazy, dude.
yeah, so if anything too, it's whatever for the most part of like, I think really just spend however you feel like it to. If you want to take the extra measure of like making sure like, A, you want to be supporting certain things, you want to spend money well and make sure that all that money is going to the correct spaces too, and not like to some other dipshit scammer too. Let's be honest, fuck scalpers. I love watching videos of scalpers crashing out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I need to send that video to y'all too. That like it's so cathartic to feel that in this case like a guy too, that when we talked about, man, no one is buying these fucking Pokemon packs anymore too, and he just like kicks a box of Pokemon packs too. It's just like, yeah, get fucked, loser.
I agree.
Gamers truly are the
It's like
they're
if
the most
any
harmful.
yeah, if anything out there, guys, if you really want to be like mad at someone spending stuff, start getting mad at scalpers, like 100%. Just start getting mad at them to the point where like I wouldn't condone violence, but if they start acting violent to you, I'm just saying,
Smiling back.
yeah, you're just doing this out of self-defense. This is not me giving any legal advice, and I am not liable to anything that happens to any viewers that take this advice. Need to make that statement clear too, so that people won't say, but I heard in this podcast that it was okay.
So far, I'm
Yeah,
hearing
your
you're
podcast
taking
is
legal
okay.
responsibility, right?
No, I am not taking legal responsibility to our trash community. If anything, what they do is on them. I am not responsible for any stupid, dumb decisions because I'm barely responsible for my own stupid, dumb decisions of what I said in this podcast. So, what makes you think I'll be responsible to anybody strangers' actions? Any other strangers' actions, whatever. Words are
Because you
hard.
should be.
No, I refuse.
Hey, he refused.
You
Like I
cannot
said.
refuse.
Like I said, I believe in self-accountability. I'm just don't want to be accountable of other people's actions.
Why not?
Because that's not my problem. You make the active choice to do so in your own volition. You may be persuaded by other things around you, but it's still at the end of the day, you chose to push that button. So that's just something to like, honestly, we could like start wrapping it around this point too is like, at the very end of the day, no one should ever feel like they made a stupid, regretful purchase, because let's be honest, you made the full conscious decision to spend it. If you didn't spend it too, then that is definitely someone that took your credit card information buying stuff under your account. That's something you probably should consult the bank on.
Correct.
But outside of that too, you made the conscious decisions of doing so. If you were easily influenced to spend something that you didn't want, maybe you should not be spending things if in the first place.
I agree. I agree.
So this is also going towards people that obviously they feel like they need to spend money because everybody else is spending money on this certain thing. I get it that you don't want to feel left out in a group too, but this is also something that like we should all like unanimously stop doing as well. If it's also something that like as a group thing too, if it's something that's fun that you all can do together, that's perfectly fine, and it's whatever too. For games, it differs because half the time we can still keep it in our library here too, and we'll always boot it up whenever we feel like we should play it.
Yeah.
So regardless, I don't think we should feel that pressured about like not spending things whatever the group spends stuff on. Although to be honest, Victor, I'm so sorry that you spend money on a fight stick. I promise we'll do a fight night at some point.
Oh, that's fine, dude.
Yeah. So we in most cases too, that will also be something that would be like a potential game that I could stream in a Hotter Trash podcast. We'll be playing the Tekken 8 in the most shittiest season 2 patch apparently by the community.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, but the best thing about you, Lois, Lars got buffed the shit out. But then so did everybody else. So, mind you, for what it is, for what it's worth to, on behalf of the Hotter Trash podcast, there's no such thing as stupid spending unless you decide to finance a Coachella ticket, which that itself is also bad. And also stop
Or
using
you
the buy
finance
now.
anything really.
Yeah. Or stop using like those apps too that lets you like cash in on your paycheck right now. Where I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. I feel like all that is that it's another credit loan service.
Cash in your paycheck now.
Or it's like the marketing is this that like you get to use your paycheck now and then whatnot.
Oh,
Or
pay
it's
it
like,
back later.
yeah, it's like, it's very weird. I don't think it's payback later, but they always advertise it as in like if you download this app, you can, and you're still waiting on your paycheck, you can actually cash into your paycheck right now to buy it on this said object. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good. I feel like there's something else missing here, and it turns out from what it looks like, it's just another like credit loaning service, especially for people that are working from paycheck to paycheck and they need to get that money. So they would actually use this service to just buy it because they know they have enough money in a paycheck to spend it, but they just don't have it in their bank account right now. But I feel like that's still bad to do, and nonetheless.
Yeah.
Spending money you don't have, yeah, that's not good.
Someone tell the person on the left that he needs to stop yapping. You shut the fuck up, man. I was trying to interact with you and now you're being an asshole. You know what? I got one thing for this too. I'm just gonna see. Oh wait, why can't I bid?
Why
I'm just
can't
gonna.
I bid?
You know what? No, you're just being timed out.
Damn.
Abuse.
He's abusing his powers.
It was like, look, I was engaging with this person in full faith, like it was supposed to be fun. Then he says that one negative shit. I'll do whatever fuck I want. I'm not afraid to use. I'm not afraid to do that shit. So
I'm not afraid to abuse my power.
exactly.
But
Because
it's
if
time
you
you don't
don't,
even do it, just makes it so you can't like message.
yeah, and then just about it. Like, here's the thing: I'm okay to exercise my power. If I don't exercise it too, people will say whatever the fuck they want.
I feel that.
No, it's just like, but is it? Don't you want people to say whatever you want? Yeah, but as long as it's productive, and not just me, and not just people just saying shit just for the shiggles. So, mind that aside too. I don't think I have much else to really talk about for this conversation point right now too, because obviously this is something that was like a culmination of like what we talked about previously in previous podcast episodes. But I mean, in general too, consumerism is not bad. It's just the way how people are using money and how they're putting themselves in worse situation financially is the problem. But that's also something that's based on the individual person and not something that like a whole system is at fault here. So that's something that I can't really comment else on to, especially all the other stuff that's going on, like with the tariff stuff to game industries falling apart to even fashion brand labels to whatever the case may be. So if you want to spend money on a bad Dragon product too, you make that decision. I won't say no to a sponsorship from them, weirdly. But anyways.
Weirdly.
Weirdly, yeah.
Yeah. But if anything else too, everyone has the ability to spend money that you want. You shouldn't feel guilty if you want to spend money because A, you still made the active decision to spend. No one should tell you if what you spend was stupid or not too. It doesn't fucking matter. Because let's be honest, the person that does say that also might have spent something on stupid as well. Like in this case, crystals.
Crystal?
Yes. Yeah, I'm calling out the people that believe in astrology bullshit thing and crystal readings.
Oh.
You're picking a bad fight for the rest of us.
look, I don't care. I will say this as part of like a tangent and hot take too. Astrology is space racism. That's all I got for you. Anyways, y'all, thank you for tuning in for tonight's Hot or Trash podcast.
Yeah,
If there's
one way to end it.
if there's anything else you guys would like for us to talk about too, we have the website that's up and running now on the stream handle down below too, and it's also going to be uploaded on YouTube, where I will also post the website on there too. And if there's anything else that you would like for me to see, potential games you would like for us to stream, please leave a comment below. The only games I will exclude from there are either League of Legends or any adult rated games too.
Why not
Adult
League of
only
Legends,
games.
bro?
Because fuck that. I don't want to be molding again. I don't want to live through that shit.
Yeah, W.
God damn. But anyways, still, if there's anything else in particular that you guys would love to hear from this stream too, that would like for us to do, let us know in the suggestion box that we have labeled for, or that Victor here has created for y'all. And we will definitely do our best to look through the suggestions and try our best to follow through with them. But anyways,
Once we
thank
dig
you.
them out of the trash, that is.
Hey, you're going to be doing that then for me, Michael. I'm not touching the trash. But yes, thank you all for coming in for tonight and listening to us ramble for a lot. Hopefully this made your night a little bit entertaining. This is the Hot or Trash podcast, and we're about to sign out here. Thank you all,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Right there.
What the fuck?
Oh,
God
yeah.